Hello, this is the second installment of Video Guitar Lessons. Again, it's a series I'm doing for my cousin. It's mainly for him, but anyone can watch and hopefully learn something. Last lesson we went over G, C, D, E, and A. Those are all major chords. There's only two major chords left, not counting sharp, so I'll get into that later. These are fairly difficult to play for a beginner. And there's two ways to play each one. There's more than two ways, but I'm going to show you two ways to play each one. And these are F, which is the normal way. Full way is this. And the cheating way, I guess easier way, is this. Something like that. Anyway, sorry. And then B major is this. Or this. And as you can see, I'm using my index finger to bar strings, which is fairly hard to do for a beginner. I remember it was hard for me. So we'll start out with F. Now, the full way to play F is to take your index finger and lay it over the first fret of all the strings. Make sure you can play each one. So, yeah, it's fairly hard for that. It's not, your whole finger's not used to barring all 6 strings. But once you get that down, you'll be fine. Then you take your ring finger on the second fret of the third fret of the A, sorry. Then you take your pinky on the third fret of the D, A, and then D. Then you take your middle finger and put it on the second fret of the G, sorry about that, the G, and then of course you bar the whole of the first fret. Should sound like this. It's fairly hard to play. Now, the easier way to play this excludes the top low E. What you do is you still use your ring finger for the third on the A and your pinky for the third on the D, and you still use your middle finger for the second on the G. But instead of barring all the strings, you just bar the B and the high E, which should sound like this. These bottom 2 strings right here. So, all together, third on the A, third on the D, second on the G, and 1 on the B and the E. It should sound like this, strumming from the A down. Do not strum the low E in this, so strumming from the A down to the high E. That's that chord. B chord is harder to play either way, but hopefully you'll get through it. So the first way to play it is like this. It's still hard. I mean, it's not hard for me to play. It just gets irritating. Cramps your wrist after a while. And that's barring all the strings except the low E. You can also bar it. It doesn't matter. It's your preference. So without it, it sounds, with and without it sounds great. Without it, it sounds like this. With it sounds like this. Not much of a difference. Unless you're playing like bluegrass and you need bass notes. Anyway, that's beside the point. So, you bar either from the E or the A down, it doesn't matter. I'm going to bar from the A down. All the way to the E string, which is excluding the low E. And then you make your middle finger on the 4th fret of the D, your ring finger on the 4th fret of the G, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the B. It should sound like this, from the A to the high E. Since you can't see me picking, I'm going to bring the pick up here. So, pick from the A down. Or you can include the E, doesn't matter. You have to excuse me, I'm playing in an awkward style since my chair is not high enough. and bar chords cramp my hands, plus I'm picking up here, so all those factors proved to be pretty bad, but I'm still trying to help, so. Okay, and the other way to play the B is up here on the 7th fret, which I find is a lot easier. And you bar all of the strings on the 7th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you bar all of them from the E to the E, so from the low E to the high E. And then you will take your ring finger on the 9th fret of the A, your pinky on the 9th fret of the G, and your middle finger on the 8th fret of the G. And then you're barring low E, and then the high E and the B. Now together it should sound like this. So again, it's barring the 7th fret, and then ring finger, 9th fret on the A, pinky, 9th fret on the D, and middle finger, 8th fret on the G. So, and then you bar, so. And if you pay attention, you'll realize that this chord and this chord are the same shape. So basically all you have to do is learn the F, and then you can play the B. Just slide it up to the 7th instead of the 1st fret. So F is on the 1st fret, B is on the 7th. Now the easier way to play F is like this. And the hard way to play B is like this. So that's 2 chords we went over. I was going to mention something about how to get to know your fretboard, but as you can see, this doesn't have any fret markers on it. It does from this angle, but you know. So when I bring a guitar up here, well, not at my house by the way, when I bring a guitar up here that has nice fret markers on it, all mine have like sharp tooth inlays or trapezoid inlays. I'm going to bring one of mine that has just standard mother of pearl dot inlays and teach something about that. And then I'll start on the minor chords, and then we'll talk about sharps and a bunch of other stuff. But for now, remember F, F, B, and B. See you next time. I hope you learned something.